record books for many different reasons.
There's always been this idea that blacks lacked the intellectual decision-making capabilities of playing the quarterback position.
A quarter century ago, here in San Diego, Doug Williams became the first African-American quarterback to start a Super Bowl.
I don't remember when race began to matter. I just heard how long it had been by a quarterback. And that's the only portion that I heard 25 years ago.
That's how Williams recalls a question he was asked on Media Day a few days before the game. In 1988, even 40 years after Jackie Robinson broke baseball's color line, a perception still lingered.
Nobody of the other race said that, hey, I think that this player is not as smart. But that was in the air.
I had been a black quarterback only when I left Grambling, because when I was at Grambling, I was just Grambling's quarterback. Eddie Robinson made sure I grew up and understood who I was in America, but at the same time, he always told us America is the only place that's going to give you that opportunity.
After graduating from Grambling State, Williams was selected by Tampa Bay in the first round of the 1978 draft. He played 5 seasons there before spending 2 seasons in the USFL. In 1986, the Redskins signed him as a backup.
They didn't call me and say, we're signing you for Black America, we're signing you for the Washington Redskins. I think that's the most important thing right now.
In his second season in D.C., Williams earned the starting position as the underdog Redskins headed to the Super Bowl. But it was his race, maybe even more than the game, that became the focus.
All of a sudden, he has more than a game on his back. He's got history on his back. He's got the hopes and dreams of a whole race. You know, how did I get all of this? I'm just a football player. But it wasn't just another game, and he wasn't just another player. Not that game.
The first play of the game for Denver was a touchdown.
So the Broncos, on a long pass from the deal, make it 7-0. And on a 24-yard field goal by Carlos, make it 10-0 with 9:09 to go in the quarter.
Everybody said, don't panic, don't panic.
Doug goes back for a pass and goes down on the ground and actually did kind of a split. Now, you got to remember, he's got a bad knee anyway.
He's hurt. He might be hurt.
Did you see him twist his leg when he went down to Doug Williams? He's got to have a sore leg.
I said, don't touch me. I said, because if I can get up, if the Lord let me get up, I said, I'm going to finish this game.
I sent Jay Schrader in the game. I said, hey, get Doug out of there.
If he had simply not come back out on the field, or if he had performed poorly, that would have been something that would have been viewed as a collective black limitation.
Doug told Schrader, this is my team, out. Go back to the sideline.
And then, the second quarter began.
Boom. He hit that thing down the boundary, and Ricky took it, and we scored a touchdown. And from that point on, to be quite truthful, I think I could have called anything on the play sheet. I could have held it up and gone like this. That one.
To be up 10-0 and to be into the game and then just kind of have the skies open on top of you was, it was disappointing.
Williams deep for Sanders again. Makes the catch. And he lost it for Daniel. Touchdown.
Doug Williams, he's had a dream year. And a dream day for a quarterback.
In just 15 minutes, the Redskins ran 18 offensive plays and scored 35 points. They'd go on to win 42-10. Williams, the first African-American quarterback to win a Super Bowl, was also named MVP.
This ends what has been a class week for the Washington Redskins and Doug Williams in particular. Talk about your moment in the sun. Well deserved.
Williams connected with his old Grambling State coach, Eddie Robinson.
I was fortunate enough when I walked off this football field, walked down the tunnel and got to hugging Coach Robinson, and we both was crying. He told me that I would never understand the impact and significance of that game until I got older.
It was almost like a shot in the arm of adrenaline. It was like the confidence, the pride. It translated into so many different aspects of life, whether it was in government, whether it was in business, that African American could win the biggest game in the most popular sport.
African Americans were saying, we're there, we've done it, you can't hold it over our head. The social aspect of it allowed us to feel comfortable as a country. We're getting past things that shouldn't be there.
If you're traveling in the airport, and might be a guy traveling with his mom, and he said, hey mom, that's that guy you was on your knees praying for right there. And she said, baby, I don't know nothing about football, but I prayed for you that day.
Today, Williams is the head coach at his alma mater. His son DJ is his quarterback.
They always turn to me and tell me, is this your dad? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, you don't understand what he meant to me, what he meant to our family. That just makes you feel so great to know that your dad had a huge impact on a lot of people around the world.
Doug Williams' performance that day opened the doors for those African-American quarterbacks like myself and others who followed. Maybe even for some outside the athletic arena.
This is the Super Bowl, and a black guy look like me operates out of our community, wins. The sky's the limit. We can win a Super Bowl. We can be president. Well, we did. Oh.
You don't read about Seattle's quarterback. You don't read about the Washington Redskins quarterback being black. They just happen to be their quarterback. And I think that's the way it should be, and hopefully that's the way it'll be from here until eternity.
Our thanks to Robert Griffin III for narrating that. And I remember Doug Williams talking about when we covered the Redskins on a Monday night this year that he was so proud of RG3's success. He's got a Redskins jersey, which he never had before, of some other player, and he puts it on and watches the Skins from time to time with pride. Doug's a guy you've got to know a lot over your entire life before he became a head coach.
Well, my dad was the running back coach when Doug was playing for the Buccaneers, and I saw incredible physical toughness and strength. And he has as much mental toughness as any man I've ever met. I'm just proud to call him one of my best friends.
And you can hear it in some of that toughness in his comments. I want to bring in Steve Young and Tom Jackson because I know both of you share, Tommy, especially with you, a unique perspective on the accomplishments of Doug that day and its impact beyond.
Well, Michael, certainly Doug Williams was a pioneer on that day at Super Bowl 22. I was a bit conflicted because first and foremost, I wanted the Denver Broncos to not suffer their third Super Bowl loss. But once that game was won by the Redskins, I certainly understood the significance of what Doug Williams had done. Now, you fast forward 25 years. We come to New Orleans for Super Bowl 47, and we hardly noticed, and I really believe that no one cares, that Colin Kaepernick is black. I heard it one time this week, and I went, oh yeah, he is black. So that's how far we've come since that day.
Tommy, I certainly understand the historical significance for African Americans, what Doug Williams did. But from a perspective of the fraternity of quarterbacks, yes, there was never a barrier to entry amongst us. I was actually welcomed into the fraternity by Warren Moon and Doug Williams. And so there was never, if you could throw a spiral and you could complete some passes, you know football is one of the great integrators, right? That we in the locker room, we just had a sense of that. So that conflict never really, in my mind, for a quarterback coming, for as a quarterback, as a black quarterback or a white quarterback or anybody else, we were quarterbacks. And it just, I understand the significance for everybody in the past, but for us, our group of people, it just seemed like, and I think that's the neat thing about football. I mean, it really is one of the great team games, and I think that's one of the aspects of it.
Mike, we're coming off a long way.
Well, no doubt, Tom, and you heard some of the comments in that piece, and Reverend Al Sharpton discussing how if a black man could be a part of winning the Super Bowl on the field, who knows what could happen next, including the presidency. And as Barack Obama was recently given the oath of office for his second term, you know the president always hosts a party at the White House, and there on his walk that goes over towards the Oval Office, overlooking the Rose Garden, that portico. Leading left, of course, the lefty Obama back and ready to pass with a couple 100,000 likes on Facebook and 13,000